So our next speaker is Leandro Dumalau, and he's going to talk to us about boxing, of all things. Boxing is a good analogy for leadership because it's about character, strategy, hard work, and preparation. Boxing, like leadership, is about dedication. Please help me welcome Leandro.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving me your attention. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about a subject that I'm very passionate about. It seems to me that I've been taught to fight all my life. Boxing has been a big part of my culture and my family. I was told that fighting, it enriches the soul. Growing up, we didn't have much, but my grandfather and my father would teach me is that if you want something bad, you have to fight for it. And in that way, no one can ever take it away from you. They say that boxing is the loneliest sport in the world. I believe that. A fighter invests blood, sweat, and tears into an art that is cruelly unforgiving. Why would anyone in their right mind pick up boxing as a sport? For me, boxing has always symbolized the underdog, the misfits, the crazy ones. For me, boxing has always symbolized courage. After all, you don't play boxing. There are many reasons why boxing is an art that cultivates leadership. It elevates people to a higher level of dedication and sacrifice. I believe there are four main virtues that makes a boxer and a leader. One is dedication. The next one is innovation. The third one, risk-taking. And the last one, humility. Boxing is analogous to leadership because of dedication. There's an old saying in boxing, champions don't become champions in the ring. They're only recognized there. If you want to see what makes a champion or how a champion is made, then you need to take a look at their daily routine. Boxing is a good analogy for leadership because it is all about daily preparation. Boxing is leadership, like leadership, is about dedication. Even a person with natural talent needs to work hard and train daily in order to succeed as a fighter. The same thing can be said for leadership. A leader can be born with charisma, maybe a higher intellect, but a leader who does not cultivate his gifts with hard work and dedication will never achieve greatness. Boxing, like leadership, is about innovation. A boxer, like a great tactician, must plan an overall strategy. Day in and day out, they practice technique, hone their skill, polish their craft. But what differentiates the good from the great? Everyone has a plan. A fighter has a fight plan. We all have life plans. A leader, a business plan. But when the action starts, you never really know what is going to happen. This is when innovation comes in. A fighter cannot control what his opponent brings come fight night. He may all of a sudden realize that the opponent standing in front of him is faster, stronger, more experienced than what he thought of. Things may be going smoothly, according to plan, but then a slight misstep, fighter breaks his ankle, throws a punch, shatters his hand, and at that moment, the landscape changes. Innovation is crucial to solve unforeseen challenges. Leaders go to battle with a strategy, tactics. Maybe they've crafted an operating mechanism to ensure that they can execute flawlessly. Like as what Mike Tyson has said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Plans rarely follow the script. Things can change pretty quickly. This is when innovation, guided by experience, practice, and creativity, can turn the tide, snatching victory away from defeat. In boxing and in leadership, you will need to have courage to take risks. Every single fighter dreams of becoming a champion. Everybody wants to be great. In boxing, though, you will need to be bold. You will need to dare, because nothing in boxing is ever handed to you. History's supreme champions have all faced the greatest of dangers. Even those that fail are remembered because of their courage and their willingness to face the greatest of challenges. No matter how great a fighter is, in boxing, there's always a mountain that needs to be climbed. Much like a boxer, a great leader must find comfort in the uncomfortable, be able to embrace the unknown. A leader must dare. They need to take risks at key moments in order to pursue greatness. Without the courage to face dangers and take risks, a leader will never amount to greatness. The last point I want to make that connects boxing with leadership is humility. In his book, Good to Great, Jim Collins theorizes that the highest form of leadership is level 5 leadership. Understand that level 5 leaders have very high ambitions, but their ambition is for the success of a much larger idea that goes beyond themselves. In boxing, the same is true. Great fighters fight for more than themselves. This is one of the most decorated fighters of all time. He's won 8 world titles in 8 different weight classes. Just to give you a bit of context, there's only 17 divisions in boxing. So he's won almost half of these championship belts in the sport. He's considered one of the greatest fighters of all time, but what drove him initially when he started to boxing was to survive. He literally had to fight in order to eat. Once he reached the status of legend, though, his purpose changed. He once even quoted Spider-Man, saying that with great power comes great responsibility. When asked what his purpose in life is now, he would always say that it is to love and to serve. His concern is not only about fighting for himself anymore, but for what he can give and how he can inspire the people. He never forgot where he came from. He can still empathize with the poor and the downtrodden people. And that's why he gives more of himself every time he steps into the ring. In boxing and in leadership, a level 5 leader has an innate need to achieve at the highest level that go beyond themselves. They continuously give of themselves for others. In order to attain this type of mastery, a fighter and a leader must have humility embedded in their core. Boxing grinds the dream of most fighters to dust. Boxing, like leadership, will test you. But I believe that with dedication, innovation, the courage to take risks, and humility, with these traits, you can succeed not only in boxing and in becoming a great leader, but I also believe you can be a champion in life. I would like to end this talk with an excerpt, a quote from Theodore Roosevelt, one of the US great leaders, and he also used boxing as an analogy for leadership. He says that the credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marked by dust and sweat and blood, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat. Thank you.